moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings. Is that right, where we are now?
Mhm.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada. At the end of the ninth canto, 24th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami summarized the activities of Krishna. He spoke of how Krishna had personally appeared to reduce the burden on the earth, how he had manifested his pastimes as a householder, and how soon after his birth he had transferred himself to his Vrajabhumi Leela. Parikshit Maharaja, being naturally a devotee of Krishna, wanted to hear more about Lord Krishna. Therefore, to encourage Sukadeva Goswami to continue speaking about Krishna and give further details, he thanked Sukadeva Goswami for having described the activities of Krishna in brief. Sukadeva Goswami had said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, known as Leela Purushottama, appeared as the son of Vasudeva, but immediately left his father's home and went to Vrindavana to expand his loving relationships with his confidential devotees. In Vrindavana, the Lord killed many demons, and afterward he returned to Dwarka, where, according to Vedic principles, he married many wives who were the best of women, begot through them hundreds of sons, and performed sacrifices for his own worship to establish the principles of householder life. The Yadu dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma, the moon god. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun comes first before the moon, Parikshit Maharaja gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Soma Vamsa, because in the Yadava dynasty, descending from the moon, Krishna had appeared. There are two different Kshatriya families of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet, and the other descending from the king of the sun. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he generally appears in a Kshatriya family because he comes to establish religious principles and the life of righteousness. Oh, that's nice. According to the Vedic system, the Kshatriya family is the protector of the human race. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the Surya Vamsa, the family descending from the sun god. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the Yadu dynasty, or the Yadu Vamsa, whose descent was from the second moon god. In the ninth canto, 24th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a long list of the kings of the Yadu Vamsa. All the kings in both the Soma Vamsa and Surya Vamsa are great and powerful, and Maharaj Parikshit praised them very highly. Rajnam Kobaya Vamsyanam Charitam Paramad Bhutan. Nonetheless, he wanted to hear more about the Somavamsa, because that was the dynasty in which Krishna had appeared. The supreme abode of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is described in Brahma Samhita as the abode of Chintamani. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vriksha lakshav ritesu suravir abhipalyantam. The Vrindavana Dhamma on this earth is a replica of that same abode, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 8:20. In the spiritual sky, there is another eternal nature, transcendental to manifested and unmanifested matter. The manifested world can be seen in the form of many stars and planets, such as the sun and moon. But beyond this is the unmanifested, which is imperceptible to those who are embodied. And beyond this, unmanifested matter is the spiritual kingdom, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as supreme and eternal. That kingdom is never annihilated, although material nature is subject to repeated creation and annihilation. That spiritual nature remains as it is eternally. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that spiritual nature, the spiritual world, is described as Vrindavana, Goloka Vrindavana, or Vraja Dhamma. The elaborate description of the above mentioned sloka from the 9th canto, Chato Gata Pratir Brihad, will be found here in the 10th canto. Text 2. One second. O best of the Munis, you have also described the descendants of Yadu, who were very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now, if you will, kindly describe the wonderful, glorious activities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who appeared in the Yadu dynasty with Baladeva, his plenary expansion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Brahma Samhita 5.1 explains that Krishna is the origin of the Vishnu Tattva. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. Yasyaika nisvasitakalam ata valamdya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanata Vishnu mahansa iha yasya kala viseso govindam alipurusham tamaham bhajami. The Brahmas, the heads of the innumerable universes, live only for the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. I worship Govinda, the original Lord, of whom Mahavishnu is but a portion of a plenary portion. Govinda, Krishna, is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. Even Lord Mahavishnu, who by his breathing creates many millions upon millions of universes, is Lord Krishna's Kala Vishesha, or plenary portion of a plenary portion. Mahavishnu is a plenary expansion of Sankarsana, who is a plenary expansion of Narayana. Narayana is a plenary expansion of the Chatus Vyuha, and the Chatus Vyuha are plenary expansions of Baladeva, the first manifestation of Krishna. Therefore, when Krishna appeared with Baladeva, all the Vishnu Tattvas appeared with him. Maharaj Parikshit requested Sukadeva Goswami to describe Krishna and his glorious activities. Another meaning may be derived from this verse as follows. Although Sukadeva Goswami was the greatest Muni, he could describe Krishna only partially. Amsena, for no one can describe Krishna fully. It is said that Anantadeva has thousands of heads, but although he tries to describe Krishna with thousands of tongues, his descriptions are still incomplete. Text 3. The Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. Purport. In this verse, the words Pritavan Yani indicate that all the different activities Krishna performed while present on earth are beneficial to human society. If religionists, philosophers, and people in general simply hear the activities of Krishna, they will be liberated. We have described several times that there are two kinds of Krishna Katha, represented by Bhagavad Gita, spoken personally by Krishna about himself, and Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Sukadeva Goswami about the glories of Krishna. Anyone who becomes even slightly interested in the Krishna Katha is liberated. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. Bhagavatam 12.3.51. Simply by chanting or repeating Krishna Katha, one is liberated from the contamination of Kali Yuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore advised Yare Deka Tarikaha Krishna Upadesha, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 7.128. This is the mission of Krishna consciousness, to hear about Krishna and thus be liberated from material bondage. Text number 4. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those who those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul, undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In India, it is the practice among the general populace to hear about Krishna, either from the Bhagavad Gita or from Srimad Bhagavatam in order to gain relief from the disease of repeated birth and death. Although India is now fallen, when there is a message that someone will speak about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, thousands of people will gather to hear. This verse indicates, however, that such recitation of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam must be done by persons completely freed from material desires. Nivritta tarsai. Everyone within this material world, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, is full of material desires for sense enjoyment. And everyone is busy in sense gratification. But when thus engaged, one cannot fully understand the value of Krishna Katha, either in the form of Bhagavad Gita or in Srimad Bhagavatam. If we hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from liberated persons, this hearing will certainly free us from the bondage of material activities. But hearing Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by a professional reciter cannot actually help us achieve liberation. Krishna Katha is very simple. In Bhagavad Gita it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as he himself explains. Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Bhagavad Gita 7.7. Simply by understanding this fact, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become a liberated person. But especially in this age, because people are interested in hearing Bhagavad Gita from the unscrupulous persons who depart from the simple presentation of Bhagavad Gita and distort it for their personal satisfaction, they fail to derive the real benefit. There are big scholars, politicians, philosophers, and scientists who speak on Bhagavad Gita in their own polluted way, and people in general hear from them, being uninterested in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a devotee. A devotee is one who has no other motive for reciting Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam than to serve the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore advised us to hear the glories of the Lord from a realized person. Bhagavata Parodya Bhagavata Stane. Unless one is personally a realized soul in the science of Krishna consciousness, a neophyte should not approach him to hear about the Lord, for this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who quotes from the Padma Purana. Avaishnava Mukhod Gritam Girinam Putam Hari Datam Ritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpach O Chistam Yatapaya. One should avoid hearing from a person not situated in Vaishnava behavior. A Vaishnava is Nivrita Tarsna, Nivrita Trishna. That is, he has no material purpose, for his only purpose is to preach Krishna consciousness. So-called scholars, philosophers, and politicians exploit the importance of the Bhagavad Gita by distorting its meaning for their own purposes. Therefore, this verse warns that Krishna Katha should be recited by a person who is Nivrita Trishna. Sukadeva Goswami epitomizes the proper reciter for Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj, who purposefully left his kingdom and family prior to meeting death, epitomizes the person fit to hear. Epitomizes the person fit to hear. A qualified reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam gives the right medicine, Bhavo Sadi, for the conditioned souls. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore trying to train qualified preachers to recite Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world, so that people in general in all parts of the world may take advantage of this movement and thus be relieved from the threefold mysteries of material existence. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita and the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam, so pleasing that almost anyone suffering from the threefold miseries of material existence will desire to hear the glories of the Lord from these books and thus benefit on the path of liberation. Two classes of men, however, will never be interested in hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are determined to commit suicide and those determined to kill cows and other animals for the satisfaction of their own tongues. Although such persons may make a show of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam at a Bhagavata Saptaha, this is but another creation of the karmis, who cannot derive any benefit from such performance. The word pasu ganat is important in this connection. Pasu gana means butcher. Persons fond of performing ritualistic ceremonies for the elevation to the higher planetary systems must offer sacrifices, yagyas, by killing animals. Lord Buddha Deva therefore rejected the authority of the Vedas because his mission was to stop animal sacrifices, which are recommended in Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Nindasi yagya vidher ahaha shruti jatam sadaya hridaya darsita pasugdatam keshavajita buddha sarira jaya jagadisha hare Gita Govinda. Even though animal sacrifices are sanctioned in Vedic ceremonies, men who kill animals for such ceremonies are considered butchers. Butchers cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness, for they are already mutually allured. Their only interest lies in developing comforts for the temporary body. Bhagaisvarya prasaktanam tayaparata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samada na vidyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Bhagavad Gita 2.44. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur says, Manusya Janmana Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya Janiya Suniya Visha Kainu. Anyone who is not Krishna conscious and who therefore does not engage in the service of the Lord is also pasugana, for he will willingly drink poison. Such a person cannot be interested in Krishna Katha because he still has a desire for material sense gratification. He is not a Nibrita Trishna, as it is said, Trivardikas te Purusha Vimukha Hari Medasaha. Those interested in three Varga, that is, in Dharma, Artha, and Kama, are religious for the sake of achieving material position with which to gain better facilities for sense gratification. Such persons are killing themselves by willingly keeping themselves in the cycle of birth and death. They cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. For Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna consciousness, there must be a speaker and a hearer, both of whom can be interested in Krishna consciousness if they are no longer interested in material topics. One can actually see how this attitude automatically develops in persons who are Krishna conscious. Although the devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement are quite young men, they no longer read materialistic newspapers, magazines, and so forth, and so on, for they are no longer interested in such topics. Nibrita Tarsai, they completely give up the bodily understanding of life. For topics concerning Uttama Sloka, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master speaks, and the disciple hears with attention. Unless both of them are free from material desires, they cannot be interested in topics of Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master and disciple do not need to understand anything more than Krishna, because simply by understanding Krishna and talking about Krishna, one becomes a perfectly learned person. Kasmin Bhagavo Vignate Sarvam Idam Vignatam Bhavati. The Lord sits within everyone's heart, and by the grace of the Lord, the devotee receives instructions directly from the Lord himself, who says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridisani visto, matak smitir jnanam apohanam cha, Vedaishta sarvir aham eva vedyo, Vedanti krit Vedavid eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the knower of the Vedas. End of quotes. Krishna consciousness is so exalted that one who is perfectly situated in Krishna consciousness, under the direction of the spiritual master, is fully satisfied by reading Krishna Katha, as found in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similar Vedic literatures. Since merely talking about Krishna is so pleasing, we can simply imagine how pleasing it is to render service to Krishna. When discourses on the Krishna Katha take place between a liberated spiritual master and his disciple, others also sometimes take advantage of hearing these topics and also benefit. These topics are the medicine to stop the repetition of birth and death. Very important. The cycle of repeated birth and death, by which one takes on different bodies again and again, is called bhava or bhava roga. If anyone willingly or unwillingly hears Krishna Katha, his bhava roga, the disease of birth and death, will certainly stop. Therefore, Krishna Katha is called Bhavo Sada, the remedy to stop the repetition of birth and death. Karmis, or persons attached to material sense enjoyment, generally cannot give up their material desires. But Krishna Katha is such a potent medicine that if one is induced to hear Krishna Katha, he will certainly be freed from this disease. A practical example is Dhruva Maharaja, who at the end of his tapasya was fully satisfied. When the Lord wanted to give Dhruva a benediction, Dhruva refused it. Swamin Kitartosmi Varam Na Yache. My dear Lord, he said, I am fully satisfied. I do not ask for any benediction for material sense gratification. We actually see that even young boys and girls in the Krishna consciousness movement have given up their long practice of bad habits like illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. Because Krishna consciousness is so potent that it gives them full satisfaction. They are no longer interested in material sense gratification. Text 5 to 7. Taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhismadeva resembled great fish that could very easily have swallowed them. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed this ocean, which was very difficult to cross, as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a cat. Because my mother surrendered unto Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord, Sudarsana Chakra in hand, entered her womb and saved my body, the body of the last remaining descendant of the Kurus and the Pandavas, which was almost destroyed by the fiery weapon of Ashwatthama. Lord Shri Krishna appearing within and outside of all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the forms of eternal time, that is, as Paramatma and as Virat Rupa, gave liberation to everyone, either as cruel death or as life. Kindly enlighten me by describing his transcendental characteristics. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.58, Samasritaye pada palava plavam, mahat padam punya yaso murare, bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam, padam yat vipadam nati sam. For one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation, and is famous as Murari, or the enemy of the Mura demon. The ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoofprint. His goal is Param Padam, or Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. One who seeks shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is immediately protected by the Lord. Ah, now that's very good. As the Lord promises in Bhagavad Gita 1866, Aham tvam sarvabhapi gyo mokshishyami my sucha, ma sucha. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. By taking shelter of Lord Krishna, one comes under the safest protection. Thus, when the Pandavas took shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, all of them were on the safe side of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Parikshit Maharaj therefore felt obliged to think of Krishna in the last days of his life. This is the ideal result of Krishna consciousness. Ante Narayana Smriti. If at the time of death one can remember Krishna, one's life is successful. Parikshit Maharaja, therefore, because of his many obligations to Krishna, intelligently decided to think of Krishna constantly during the last days of his life. Krishna had saved the Pandavas, Maharaja Parikshit's grandfathers, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Krishna had saved Maharaja Parikshit himself when he was attacked by the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. Krishna acted as the friend and worshipable deity of the Pandava family. Moreover, apart from Lord Krishna's personal contact with the Pandavas, Krishna is the supersoul of all living entities, and he gives everyone liberation, even if one is not a pure devotee. Kamsa, for example, was not at all a devotee, yet Krishna, after killing him, gave him salvation. Krishna consciousness is beneficial to everyone, whether one is a pure devotee or a non devotee. This is the glory of Krishna consciousness. Considering this, who will not take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna? Krishna is described in this verse as Maya Manusya because he descends exactly like a human being. He is not obliged to come here like karmis or ordinary living beings. Rather, he appears by his own internal energy. Some bhavam me and some bhavam are okay. Some bhavami atmamaya. Just to show favor to the fallen conditioned souls, Krishna is always situated in his original position as Satchit Ananda Vigraha, and anyone who renders service to him is also situated in its original spiritual identity. Swarupena Vyavastiti. This is the highest perfection of human life. Wow. Okay. Text 8. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, you have already explained that Sankar's son, who belongs to the second quadruple, appeared as the son of Rohini named Balarama. If Balarama was not transferred from one body to another, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Kindly explain this to me. Okay, very interesting statement here. Purport. Here is a question particularly directed at the understanding of Balarama, who is Sankarsana himself. Balarama is well known as the son of Rohini, yet it is also known that he was the son of Devaki. Parikshit Maharaja wanted to understand the mystery of Balarama's being the son of both Devaki and Rohini. Text number 9. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father, Vasudeva, and transfer himself to the house of Nanda, in Vrindavana. Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavana? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. These are inquiries about the itinerary of Krishna. Just after his birth in the house of Vasudeva in Mathura, Krishna transferred himself to Gokula on the other side of the Yamuna, and after some days he moved with his father, mother, and other relatives to Nandagrama, Vrindavana. Maharaj Parikshit was very much eager to hear about Krishna's activities in Vrindavan. This entire canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is full of activities performed in Vrindavana and Dwarka. The first 40 chapters describe Krishna's Vrindavana affairs, and the next 50 descriptions, and the next 50 describe Krishna's activities in Dwarka. Maharaja Parikshit, to fulfill his desire to hear about Krishna, requested Sukadeva Goswami to describe these activities in full detail. Text 10. Lord Krishna lived both in Vrindavana and in Mathura. What did he do there? Why did he kill Kamsa, his mother's brother? Such killing is not at all sanctioned in the Shastras. Purport. One's maternal uncle, the brother of one's mother, is on the level of one's father. When a maternal uncle has no son, his nephew legally inherits his property. Therefore, why did Krishna directly kill Kamsa, the brother of his mother? Maharaja Parikshit was very inquisitive about the facts in this regard. Text 11. Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, has no material body, yet he appears as a human being. For how many years did he live with the descendants of Vishnu? How many wives did he marry? And for how many years did he live in Dwarka? Okay, well, good questions here. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In many places, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, possessing a spiritual, blissful body. His bodily feature is Narakriti, that is exactly like that of a human being. Here, the same idea is repeated in the words Manusyam Asritya, which indicate that he accepts a body exactly like that of a man. Everywhere it is confirmed that Krishna is never niraka or formless. He has his form exactly like that of a human being. There is no doubt about this. Text number 12. O great sage, who know everything about Krishna, please describe in detail all the activities of which I have inquired, and also those of which I have not. For I have full faith and am very eager to hear of them. Text 13. Because of my vow because of my vow on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet, because I am drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your lordship, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, cannot hinder me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To prepare to meet death in 7 days, Maharaj Pariksit gave up all food and drink. As a human being, he was certainly both hungry and thirsty, and therefore Sukadeva Goswami might have wanted to stop narrating the transcendental topics of Krishna. But despite his fast, Maharaj Pariksit was not at all fatigued. The hunger and thirst from my fast do not disturb me, he said. Once, when I felt very thirsty, I went to the ashrama of Samika Muni to drink water, but the Muni did not supply it. I therefore wrapped a dead snake over his shoulder, and that is why I am cursed. I was cursed by the Brahmana boy. Now, however, I am quite fit. I am not at all disturbed by my hunger and thirst. This indicates that although on the material platform there are disturbances from hunger and thirst, on the spiritual platform there is no such thing as fatigue. The entire world is suffering because of spiritual thirst. Every living being is Brahman or spirit soul and needs spiritual food to satisfy his hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, however, the world is completely unaware of the nectar of Krishna Katha. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore a boon to philosophers, religionists, and people in general. There is certainly a charming attraction in Krishna and Krishna Katha. Therefore, absolute truth is called Krishna, the most attractive. The word Amrita is also an important reference to the moon, and the word Ambuja means lotus. The pleasing moonshine and pleasing fragrance of the lotus combine to bringing pleasure to everyone hearing Krishna Katha from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. As it is said, Matirna Krishna Parata Swato Bhava Mito Vipadyita Vihar Raktanam Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram Punak Punaschar Vitacharvananam. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Bhagavatam 7.5.30. At the present moment, all of human society is engaged in the business of chewing the chewed. Punascharvita charvananam. People are prepared to undergo mityu samsara vartamani, taking birth in one form, dying and accepting another form, and dying again. To stop this repetition of birth and death, Krishna Katha, or Krishna consciousness, is absolutely necessary. But unless one hears Krishna Katha from a realized soul like Sukadeva Goswami, one cannot relish the nectar of Krishna Katha, which puts an end to all material fatigue, and enjoy the blissful life of transcendental existence. In relation to Krishna consciousness movement, we actually see that those who have tasted the nectar of Krishna Katha lose all material desires, whereas those who cannot understand Krishna or Krishna Katha regard the Krishna conscious life as brainwashing and mind control. While the devotees enjoy spiritual bliss, The non-devotees are surprised that the devotees have forgotten material anchorings. Text 14. Sutta Goswami said, O son of Brigu, Sonaka Rishi, after Sukadeva Goswami, the most respectable devotee, the son of Vyasadeva, heard the pious questions of Maharaj Pariksit, he thanked the king with great respect, then began to discourse on topics concerning Krishna, which are the remedy for all sufferings in this age of Kali. Now we know what we should be doing. We should be doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
Hearing the discourses on topics concerning Krishna, which are the remedy for all suffering in this age of Kali. Purport. In this verse, the word Krishna Charitam Kali Kalmasa Grinam indicate that the activities of Lord Krishna are certainly the greatest panacea. That means the greatest way for to continue in spiritual life. The greatest panacea for all miseries, especially in this age of Kali. It is said in Kali Yuga, people have only short lives and they have no culture of spiritual consciousness. If anyone is at all interested in spiritual culture, he is misled by many bogus swamis and yogis who do not refer to Krishna Katha. Therefore, most people are unfortunate and disturbed by many calamities. Srila Vyasadeva prepared Srimad Bhagavatam at the request of Narada Muni in order to give relief to the suffering people of this age. Kali Kalmasa Gyanam. The Krishna consciousness movement is seriously engaged in enlightening people through the pleasing topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. All over the world, the message of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is being accepted in all spheres of life, especially in advanced educated circles. Srila Sukadeva Goswami is described in this verse as Bhagavata Pradhana, whereas Maharaja Pariksit is described as Vishnu Ratam. Both words bear the same meaning. That is, Maharaj Pariksit was a great devotee of Krishna, and Sukadeva Goswami was also a great saintly person and a great devotee of Krishna. Combined together to present Krishna Katha, they give great relief to suffering humanity. Anarthapasamam Saksha Bhakti Yogam Ahoksajay Lokaisya Janato Vidvams Chakre Satvata Samhitam. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Bhagavad Gita 1.7.6. People in general are unaware that the message of Srimad Bhagavatam can give all of human society relief from the pangs of Kali Yuga. Kali Kalmasa Grinam. Text 15. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, O your majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to topics of Vasudeva, it is certain that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding, which is the only true goal for humanity. Because that attraction is unceasingly, it is certainly sublime. Because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Katha is compulsory for the Rajarsi, or executive head of government. This is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Imam Rajarso Vidu. Unfortunately, however, in this age, the governmental power is gradually being captured by third class and fourth class men who have no spiritual understanding, and society is therefore very quickly becoming degraded. Krishna Katha must be understood by the executive heads of government, for otherwise, how will people be happy and gain relief from the pangs of materialistic life? One who has fixed his mind in Krishna consciousness should be understood to have a very sharp intelligence in regard to the value of life. Maharaj Parikshit was Rajarsi Satyama, the best of all saintly kings, and Sukadeva Goswami was Muni Sattama, the best of munis. Both of them were elevated because of their common interest in Krishna Katha. The exalted position of the speaker and the audience will be explained very nicely in the next verse. Krishna Katha is so enlivening that Maharaj Parikshit forgot everything material, even his personal comfort, in relation to food and drink. This is an example of how the Krishna consciousness movement should spread all over the world to bring both the speaker and the audience to the transcendental platform and back home, back to Godhead. Haribol. Text 16. The Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastime and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is said, Tasmat Kurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreya Uttamam. Bhagavatam 11.3.21. Those interested in understanding transcendental subject matters as the goal of life must approach the bona fide spiritual master. Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta. One must surrender to such a guru who can give right information about Krishna. Herein, Maharaj Parikshit has surrendered to the right personality, Sukadeva Goswami, for enlightenment in Vasudeva Katha. Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead, who has unlimited spiritual activities. Srimad Bhagavatam is a record of such activities, and Bhagavad Gita is the record of Vasudeva speaking personally. That's very nice. Therefore, since the Krishna consciousness movement is full of Vasudeva Katha, anyone who hears anyone who joins the movement and anyone who preaches will be purified. Haribol. That's what we want. Text 7. Once, when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons, dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. Purport, she called her. When the world is overburdened by unnecessary military arrangements, and when various demoniac kings are the executive heads of state, this burden causes the appearance of the Supreme Personality of God. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.7, Yada yada hidharmasya vanya bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam shajamyam. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and the predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I appear myself. When the residents of this earth become atheistic and godless, they descend to the status of animals like dogs and hogs, and thus their only business is to bark among themselves. This is dharma shiglani, deviation from the goal of life. Human life is meant for attaining the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness. But when people are godless and the presidents or kings are unnecessarily puffed up with military power, their business is a fight and increase the military strength of their different states. Nowadays, therefore, it appears that every state is busy manufacturing atomic weapons to prepare for a third world war. Such preparations are certainly unnecessary. They reflect the false pride of the heads of state. The real business of a chief executive is to see to the happiness of the mass of people by training them in Krishna consciousness in different divisions of life. Chaturvarnyam Maya Sristam Guna Karma Vibhagasa. Bhagavad Gita 4.13. The leader should train the people as Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, and engage them in various occupational duties, thus helping them progress toward Krishna consciousness. Instead, however, rogues and thieves, in the guise of protectors, arrange for a voting system, and in the name of democracy, they come to power by hook or crook and exploit the citizens. Even long, long ago, asuras, persons devoid of God consciousness, became the heads of state. And now this is happening again. The various states of the world are preoccupied with arranging for military strength. Sometimes they spend 65% of the government's revenue for this purpose. But why should people's hard-earned money be spent in this way? Because of the present world situation, Krishna has descended in the form of the Krishna consciousness movement. This is quite natural, for without the Krishna consciousness movement, the world cannot be peaceful and happy. Nice, very nice statements by Srila Prabhupada. Text 18. Mother Earth assumed the form of a cow. Very much distressed, with tears in her eyes, she appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune. Thereafter, having heard of the distress of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma, with Mother Earth, Lord Shiva, and all other demigods, approached the shore of the ocean of milk. After Lord Brahma understood the precarious condition of the earth, he first visited the demigods headed by Lord Indra, who are in charge of the various affairs of this universe, and Lord Shiva, who is responsible for annihilation. Both maintenance and annihilation go on perpetually under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya sadhuspikam. Those who are obedient to the laws of God are protected by the different servants and demigods, whereas those who are undesirable are vanquished by Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma first met all the demigods, including Lord Shiva. Then, along with Mother Earth, they went to the shore of the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu lies on a white island, Sweta Dvipa. Text 20. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worship the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Vishnu, the master of the whole universe, the supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's sufferings. With great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Sutta. Purport. The demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is Parama Purusha, the Supreme Being, Paramatma. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal or no one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adipurusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva. What time is it now?
We are at time, Maharaj.
We're finished, right?
Yeah, we are at time. Yes.
Okay. All right, I think we'll stop right there with Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva. And all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments?
Hi Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada.
Yes, Maharaj. Would they say that Lord Shiva is Ishvara and Lord Krishna is Parameshwara? Can you clarify that if possible? Thank you.
Well, Ishvara and Parameshwara. When we talk about Ishvara, that is personality of Godhead, and Parameshwara is refers to Krishna himself. So there are many Ishwaras, but there's only one Parameshwara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here it says, let's see if I'm right. Aside from the demigod, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the supreme personality of Godhead. And therefore, he is described here by many words. Jagannatha, Deva Deva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva Deva. Okay, so I think we should understand the position of Krishna by what we just read. And it says, Lord Brahma, the demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods. There it is. Known as Parameshwara. He is Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Saswatam Devyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibu. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adipurusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva Deva. Okay, so that just means that there's only one Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's Krishna. But there are many expansions of the Lord's. We shouldn't get confused by that. Because Krishna has unlimited expansions, but he is always the supreme, unique personality of Godhead. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, I love the detailed explanation. Thank you so much.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Therefore, it says here, aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods. There it is. Parameshwara. He is Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Vrisha, Kapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna: Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. Purusham Saswatam Devyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and are all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva Deva. So this means that there's only one Krishna, but he can have also in many expansions, unlimited number of expansions. That means that he has unlimited potencies. And that also means that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore it says here, Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is the Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words. Jagannatha, Devadeva, Risha, Kapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement of by Arjuna. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavijam Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibham. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshvara, Deva Deva. I think that covers this question that Krishna is the unique supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him, no one is greater than him. Everyone is subordinate to him. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. And I love the detailed description and the examples. Thank you so much.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So our takeaway for today is the fact that it says demigods such as Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshvara. He is Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12. Okay, so you get the idea. Krishna is unique. No one is equal to him, no one is greater to him. Everyone is subordinate to him. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Or as it says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You, meaning Krishna, are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Paramesvara, Deva Deva. So I guess that answers the question. No one is equal to Krishna or greater than Krishna. Everyone is subordinate to Krishna. And therefore, that's what it says here. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, he is described here by many words. Jagannatha, Devadeva, Riksha, Kapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitam Paramam Bhavan Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental. And when it says primal God, it means he is unique. There's no one is equal to him. He is greater than all. Transcendental and original. And you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adipurusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva, Deva. Yeah, so there's only one Krishna, but he can expand himself infinitely. So that's our takeaway for today. In other words, that there's only one supreme personality of Godhead, but because he has unlimited potencies, he can expand himself as much as he wants. Okay, any other questions or comments? Questions or comments? Okay, so our takeaway for today is Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words. Jagannatha, Devadeva, Vishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Krishna is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in the statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God. That means unique. Primal God means he's unique. Transcendental and original. And you are the unborn and the all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adipurusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva, Deva. So that finishes the whole question. No one is equal to or greater than Krishna, and everyone is subordinate to Krishna. That's why it says the demigods, such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord King Indra, Chandra, and Surya, are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is a Parama Purusha, the supreme being, Paramatma. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme personality of Godhead. And therefore, he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12. In this statement by Arjuna, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vivam. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva. So there you are. There's no one that is equal to or greater than Krishna. Everyone is subordinate to him. That is our takeaway for today. Krishna is Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primeval God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara Devadeva. So you see, this is unequivocally the absolute truth, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is superior to all other living entities, and he is completely what you would call the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. There it is. That closes any possibility of saying, well, there's Krishna, but there's also Shiva, and there's also this one. Yeah, they're also this one and that one, but Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now we know who is actually the original personality of Godhead. Krishna. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva. They're expansions. So now we know that Krishna is the unique, supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him. No one is greater than him. Yeah, we should have a feast today and celebrate this, That's why it says, the master of the whole universe, the supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. That is the supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna or Vishnu. With great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Sukta. And therefore it says, the demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya, all are subordinate to the supreme personality of Godhead. That's a very important statement there, because there's so many people in Maya bodies and so forth. They say, no, it's Brahma. No, it's this one. It's that one. No, it is only Krishna. Lord Krishna, however, is the God of gods, or Parameshwara. He is Paramapurusha, the supreme being, Paramatma, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramakrishna, Satchitananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he is described here by many words: Jagannatha, Devadeva, Rishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.21 in this statement by Arjuna. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva. So when anybody ever says, well, yeah, there's a Krishna, but we worship this one or that one as the supreme person, that means that they are bogus. They don't know what they're talking about. No one is equal to or greater than Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Question finished. We know who's the real personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you can quote this verse: Param Brahma, Param Bhava, Param Dhamma, Pavicham Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam, Adi Devam. Adi Devam means the original God. Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara Deva Deva, just expansions. So, this closes this question. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It is undoubtedly Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
And that's why it says the demigods such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshwara. He is Paramapurusha, the supreme being, Paramatma, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, that closes the book. That means that it is absolutely the perfect and eternally greatest truth. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. It's nothing that you can argue against that. Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, our takeaway for today is the following. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Avicham Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adi Deva Vajam Vibham. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purusha, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham, Tamaham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. And all the Vishnu tattvas are Parameshwara, Deva Deva, expansions of Lord Vishnu. That means that Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. That means that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's it. Thank you very much. Now we know for sure, without any doubt, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. No one is greater than him, no one is equal to him. Everyone is subordinate to Lord Shri Krishna. Haribol. Any questions or comments? Thank you very much, my dear devotees. Please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And don't have any doubts about Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to him. No one is greater than him. Everyone is subordinate to him. Haribol.